Artisanal, Grupo Mariachi Cardenal. Mariachi Cardenal is from Robinson High School in Las Vegas, New Mexico. Bien hecho. Muchas gracias. Welcome everyone. Bienvenidos, bienvenidas. My name is Cristina Duran. I'm the Dean of the Facundo Valdez School of Social Work. Good evening. We're here to honor our grads, bachelor's and master's, BSW, MSW graduates, class of 2018. We're here to induct you into the profession. We're also here to honor family members and friends. We'll have a little bit of a chance to talk about that as we get into the program. I just want to welcome all of you. It's going to be a special evening. I hope you enjoy it. I first want to introduce our president, Dr. Sam Minner, president of New Mexico Highlands University. Dr. Minner is in his third year, I believe. Is a champion of our university, is a champion for the School of Social Work. He has strengthened our university in so many ways. I'm just happy that he's here to say a couple of words to our guests. Thank you, Dr. Minner.
Coming out this afternoon, graduates, congratulations to you. You've heard that many times. Probably not enough, though. You can't get too much of that, is what I say. So, my name is Sam Minner. I'm the president of New Mexico Highlands. It's been a great privilege to be here for almost 3 years now, trying to serve this great institution. I also want to say and acknowledge, just flat out, that of the many jewels in the crown of New Mexico Highlands, there is no stronger program than our social work program. That is absolutely true. Why is that? Well, it's because of our wonderful faculty, of course. We have great leadership, Dean Duran, and of course, wonderful students. I say all the time, social workers rule the world, or I think they should. And I don't know the genesis of that discipline named social work, maybe just at a literal level, but when I think about it, just literally, what comes to my mind is there anything more noble? Is there anything more beautiful than working, then comes the social, working on society, working to improve humankind, working to make the world a better place, to improve the lives of all humankind. And that's what social work is in my head at least. Social work, working on society to make the world a better place. And I thank you so much for that. I thank you for the decision that you made, I don't know when you made, maybe as little kids, I don't know, to go into this discipline, to go into this field, to be soldiers for the betterment of humankind, all of humankind. That's what we need today, and that's what you guys are about to do. And I thank you for it. So congratulations once again to all of you, the families and supporters of these students. They walked across that stage to get their diploma. I saw many of you walking with them, silently, invisibly, but right there with them, supporting them in their quest. So I thank you for that as well. So once again, congratulations, students. Good luck to you. And be soldiers for social justice. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Minner. At this time, I'd like to, before we move on with the program, I'd like to recognize and have a moment of silence to honor a couple of students in our program who passed away this past year, sadly. Ella Lederer was a BSW student, Michael Householder, an MSW student. Both students, I think everyone would agree, were very committed students, very hardworking students, and we lost them this year, sadly. I'd like to take a moment of silence at this time if we could. Thank you. There's a memorial small table that's set up in the lobby area that has Michael and Ella's name there. Also has a journal that you can write your name and a message if you would like. So you might want to take a look at that on your way out after the ceremony. At this time, on behalf of the Facundo Valdez School of Social Work and New Mexico Highlands University, I'd like to congratulate our grads once again, class of 2018. Congratulations. Stand and be recognized. Stand and be recognized. This is your award. We're going to see more of you this evening. I'd like to introduce and acknowledge several persons who have helped our students bring them to this point, and also people who have helped with this event. The induction committee, Dr. Maria Munguia Roman. Dr. Munguia, are you anywhere in sight? She's probably behind the scenes. Dr. Munguia really chaired a committee, an organizing committee that was made up of herself, Joanne Martinez. Joanne, are you here? Anywhere in sight? We'll recognize both Joanne and Dr. Munguia. Reyes Coca, Mr. Reyes Coca is our videographer, right here to my left. Reyes is our student support specialist to become an integral part of our team at the Albuquerque Center. Let me see, I'd like to recognize some of our faculty who are sitting here in front of me. Dr. Kip Coggins is here. Our students know our faculty very well. Dr. Coggins, Dr. Sam Terrazas, Dr. Hamilton Williams is also here. Dr. Williams, Dr. Judy Barnstone is here. Dr. Barnstone, Professor Amy Messick. Professor Julie Sumiga, Dr. Julie Sumiga is also here. Classes. Any of the course instructors that I am leaving out at this point. I want to also introduce Dr. Evelyn Blanchard, who is here in the audience. We will be launching the Native American Social Work Studies Institute with Dr. Blanchard's leadership and including some other faculty. So I wanted to recognize all of these persons. In terms of staff, there are some other staff who are here. Helen Robertson, where are you? Helen Robertson is our librarian. Helen provides a lot of help to our students in many different ways. Thank you, Helen. Let me see. Tamara Tiedemann, where are you, Tamara? Field coordinator. I know she's here. I think she might be out in the lobby. Belinda Pearson was not able to make it. Her son is graduating from high school tonight, and Belinda wanted to be here, our director of field education. There are other faculty who aren't here. Kevin Barnes could not, I didn't see, I don't think I saw Kevin. Valerie Baez Pedrosa. Dr. Mark Dyke is retiring. Some of you came to Dr. Dyke's retirement party the other day, so I want to thank all these persons for being here. We have some student volunteers that helped out today. Kadima Kawed helped out, Meredith Mix, Mary Andre, one of our alum, who I know is here somewhere. Marian Nahar also helped us and set up everything for the event. Thank you. Let me see, before we move on with the program, I'd also like to recognize my husband, Gabriel Melendez, who's sitting here in front of me. Here shortly, we will talk about the importance of support systems, social supports, people who help us out in times of need and who assist us through our own journeys. Gabriel was there when I got my own MSW, and of course is here and supporting me in the work I do now. So thank you, Gabriel. All right. I think at this point I would like to make sure that I am covering everything here. I'd like to introduce someone special to you. A lot of you know him. Senator Jerry Ortiz-Pino is our keynote address for the evening. A lot of you know the senator because he came into your class and presented to many of you, and you're familiar with his work. Jerry Ortiz-Pino Pino has been in the New Mexico Senate and representing the 12th district since 2005, and he is a social worker. And so we're always so proud to be able to know that there's a senator, a New Mexico senator, who's also a social worker. He's a social worker who has been visible and actively involved in our profession. So not only does he have the title and the degree, but he really has been actively involved in advocating for issues that are important to social workers. Jerry Ortiz-Pino we know him as a consummate advocate for the betterment of families and communities everywhere, especially here in New Mexico. He's worked with students and families on various projects, Highlands students. He has been really generous with giving of his time to students in the classroom. You'll see him at the Albuquerque Center presenting to students. Every semester I see you there, Jerry. Thank you for that. And we can always count on Senator Ortiz-Pino to ground us in the most critical and pressing advocacy issues of the day. I think you would agree with me on that. So with that, Senator, it's all yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dean Duran. And I very much enjoyed listening to President Minner's comments because I think you're going to find a lot of congruence with what I bring up tonight as well. First, let me congratulate you. You're becoming social workers, but you're also graduates of the Facundo Valdez School of Social Work at Highlands University. And I'm not sure if any of you ever had the opportunity to meet Facundo, but not only did he help get the Highlands program off the ground when it was struggling early on, but for many of us who came into the field in the 60s and in the 70s, Facundo was an incredible role model. And when the regents of the university agreed to name the school after him, it was, I think, a great step and very well deserved. So keep in mind that you are graduates of a school named after one of the premier social workers of our state in our history. Today marks not the ending of your professional education, but in a very real sense, the start of it. Our profession relies on the development and the use of skill, guided by value. Not so much on the precise measurement or the cataloging and recall of information and data, the way some other professions do. Ours is more of an art, I would argue. As such, those skills must be sharpened by being practiced, and those values must be continually tested and reaffirmed. Both processes involve a lifelong commitment. They will never stop. No matter what form your professional work takes, or if you even try to retire from the field, you will still be developing those skills and applying them in some context or another. As long as you are a social worker, you will be learning and improving, applying those skills and those values in settings as diverse as anti-poverty agencies, hospitals, schools, corporate or agency boardrooms, private practice, or even elective office. As a social worker, I grow more convinced every day that what we are about in all of those and in dozens of other settings is quite simply the work of creating, restoring, healing, and strengthening the beloved community, in the words of the Reverend William Barber, who was channeling Martin Luther King when he cited that. If I were addressing a class of would-be business executive graduates, or criminal justice students, or political science majors, or military officers, or hedge fund managers, I wouldn't be using the term beloved community. Sometimes those groups' worldview, sadly, still seems trapped in the last century's way of thinking about the human condition. One, I think, much of the current work by psychologists, anthropologists, and theologians has rejected, replacing it with a deeper, more accurate understanding of humans, nature, society, and even God. One that can permit the use of a term like the beloved community, or the caring culture, or the compassionate society, without being apologetic or embarrassed at being fuzzy-headed or unrealistic. Until recently, though, the prevailing construct in our society was that primitive man, and we his descendants as well, survived by virtue of winning competitively, survival of the fittest. That meant grabbing as much and as fast as you can and hang the others. We've all heard that principle expressed in many ways, and until recently, few of us argued with it. To the victor belong the spoils. Nice guys finish last. Manifest destiny. Only the strong will survive. It's a dog-eat-dog world. Social Darwinism. Competition, the lifeblood of capitalism. America first. Sharing is what communists do. It's un-American. Let the market decide. Its invisible hand may be cruel, but it must never be avoided or tampered with. And on and on. We've all heard variations on that theme. And those variations used to explain all sorts of bizarre things in our society and our world. It's a zero-sum paradigm. Anything you get leaves me that much poorer. So I'll grab mine first, and if there's anything left over after I've stuffed my pockets and my cheeks, well then you're welcome to survive on those leaves. And the corollary is, if you have something, I'm afraid that must make me that much poorer. So I don't want you to have much, and I certainly won't give you anything unless I get back more. I require a favorable balance of trade. That's the thinking that produces the sustained warfare of the last couple of centuries, and the fear-based military spending that's bankrupting us. That's the thinking that's created the enormous disparity in wealth that we are now suffering from. The thinking that's transformed the United States and our society in that country from being the most loved and esteemed nation on earth into one increasingly hated and feared. That's the thinking that replaces the concept of community with the concept of the interest group, and that fears anyone not part of our narrowly defined interest group, whether that group is a racial group, a political group, or a religious group. Contrast that attitude with Martin Luther King Jr.'s point of view. The arc of the moral universe is long. Sometimes you can't see the end of it, but we know that it bends toward justice. We face a real choice, he said, between chaos and community. We need a moral revolution. Reverend William Barber, that I quoted earlier, adds, if that was true when Martin said it 50 years ago, then we must be clear today. America needs a moral revival to bring about beloved community. Barber goes on, the main obstacle to beloved community continues to be the fear that people in power have used for generations to divide and conquer God's children, who are, whatever our differences, all in the same boat. Fortunately, over the last 20 years, there's been developing a strong scientific body of knowledge that we can rely on to challenge that fear-based selfishness, that cutthroat competitive attitude that blames victims for their plight and cautions that any movement to help them will only throw out of balance the almighty market and produce dependent, which in that view is the worst sin in the world. Studying more carefully animal behavior and analyzing more objectively the evidence of our earliest human ancestors, the cutting edge of anthropology, ethnography, psychology, theology now asserts in a growing literature on the subject that in fact it is caring that is our deepest motivator as humans, not competition. The evidence is mounting that warfare doesn't produce strong societies. A willingness to work collaboratively is what's done that in history. And many cultures throughout history have prospered with a strong ethic of sharing with one another. In other words, they've been compassionate societies. It isn't wishful thinking that one day we could have an end to racism, to sexism, to religious intolerance, and all the rest of the fear-based hatreds that seem so overwhelming today. And now we know it would be completely consistent with our biology and our history to create the beloved community. Because at our most basic level, when humans care for one another, look after the weak, the young, and the aged, they have produced resilient, creative, and imaginative societies. That's the pathway to survival and to excellence. We grow stronger ourselves when we share. We grow wiser ourselves when we teach and nurture. We grow happier ourselves when we serve others. That's not fairy tales or religious idealism. That's what our profession of social work has known all along. We must never back down from the call to help. Our goal is precisely what Martin Luther King expressed: to create the beloved community. A community without abused children. Wouldn't that be amazing? A community without poverty, without addiction or crime. It's happened in the past. You hear people say, oh, the poor have always... No, there have been societies where there were no poor, when wealth was shared and it worked. A community in which illness would not produce bankruptcy. I wish that were the case today. A community where the mentally ill, the mentally challenged, and the frail are all cared for with respect and are valued. A community without racism. Creating that community are your marching orders. Get out there and do it. Spending your career working on that project will give you incredible joy, if not necessarily incredible wealth. Thanks for being willing to accept that challenge. We eagerly look forward to your success. Thank you all, and congratulations again.
With a token of our appreciation, Senator. Professor Barnes just arrived. I'd like to share just a few words with you before we move on to the part of the program, recognizing our graduates and reciting the oath of the induction pledge. And I'd like to focus my comments on all of you here in the audience. Of course, we're here to honor our graduates. You all have done the work. You have the discipline. You toiled. You made sacrifices. You took care of business. You did what you needed to do to bring yourself to this point. But my guess is you might not have been able to do it without the support and help of your loved ones, of your beloved community. I'll honor that phrase. I'd like to at this time to ask those of you in the audience who've been a source of support for our graduates, who've helped them or assisted them in some way, who've just been there for them. Could you all stand and be recognized? We'd like to congratulate you. Anybody, family, friends, teachers, It turns out that social workers and social work students know something about social networks. Social support is part of the body of knowledge that's included in our profession. In fact, it's one of the first things that we ask clients, whether it be a mother, a family, a young person. One of the first things that we ask is, who in your life helps you? Who in your life provides support to you? Who do you go to? Who do you turn to in times of need? Right? So that question might sound a little bit different for our students. It might sound something like this. It's 7 o'clock on a Sunday night. The kids are stressed out because there's something happening in school on Monday. You've got a paper due at 9, an exam to take at 1. Does that ring a bell? Something along those lines, I think, is what a lot of our students, or some version of that, is what our students have experienced. And many of them have turned to you all to get them through, to support them, and so forth. You know, sources of support can come from lots of different corners. It can come from the workplace, from co-workers, it can come from church, it can come from neighbors, it can come from professional associations, any number of places, including, by the way, I always like this concept of instrumental support. I don't know if you remembered it buried in one of your textbooks, I think in one of the Dixie classes. Instrumental support is when you get support from the person who cuts your hair, the hairstylist, or the person who does your nails, or the person at the checkout counter who you sort of like running into again and again. These are also sources of support. But what we're here tonight to really honor is all of you here, families and friends, parents, moms and dads, siblings, brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles, children, young children, adult children, I think I mentioned grandparents, ninos and ninas, godparents, godmothers and godfathers. Godfather, that just doesn't sound right. Nino, I'll use the term, Nino captures it better. And so all of you, spouses, significant others, close friends, etc., you all have really done the heavy lifting, made many sacrifices over, in some cases, many years. I was thinking about how some of you may have, you're thinking about when you started at CNM, or maybe even before, right, high school, but CNM, to get the associate's degree. Of course, many of you here are getting your bachelor's degree, and then you're getting your master's. So we're talking maybe many years of needing some help along the way. And so I just want to thank you and congratulate all of the family members who are here for offering that support to our grads. I don't think they would have been able to make it without your help and without your sacrifices. So again, thank you so much. Are you ready to be recognized one by one? Are you ready? I think we are. Let me see. What we're going to do, this is how we'll do it. Row by row, the first row can stand. And what you'll do is, the senator will help us. We will give you a scroll which has the oath, the pledge, which will also be behind you when we get to that point of reciting it. So you don't necessarily have to open it. We'll give you a scroll with that pledge, the induction pledge. You'll get a pen from the senator, and then you'll kind of loop back around to your seats before we do recite the pledge. Does that sound okay? All right. All right. Let's have our first row. Each person is giving me a card with their name, which I'll read. Suzette Roban, ESW. Janae Alarcon, MSW. Marina Maes, MSW. Louise Archibald, MSW. Daniela Weiner, MSW. Michelle Baca, MSW. Jameson Anderson, MSW. Tamitha Ferguson, MSW. Cami Garver, BSW. Pedro Rivera, BSW. Patricia Duran, MSW. Hillary Taylor, MSW. Haley. Katie Otsuka, MSW. Alita McDonald, MSW. Juliana Loreto, MSW. Wendy Vinnebrink Allison, MSW. Ilu Omandeki, MSW. Ariel Shaw, BSW, congratulations. Jonathan Quintana, BSW. Jocelyn Mendoza, BSW. Maria Rubalcaba Parra, BSW. Tanisha Atson, BSW. Melanie West, BSW. Janae Hernandez, BSW. Chelsea Cantrell, BSW. Suzanne Stern Brandt, MSW. I know your name. Julianica Casals, MSW. Jordan Silva, MSW. Marian Nahad, BSW. Debbie Garduño, BSW. Lenny Gallegos, BSW. Elena Aguilar, BSW. Titus Fragua, BSW. Janaya Shields, BSW. Richard Marzullo, MSW. Hermes Santiago, MSW, felicidades. Dulce Medina Bustillos, felicidades, MSW. Marlene Nava, MSW, felicidades. Claudia de Santiago, MSW, congratulations. Yahaira Estrada, PSW, felicidades. Christian Esquivel, BSW. Rene Carrillo, BSW. Rihanna Romero, congratulations. Gabriel Maldonado, BSW, congratulations. Karen Tenorio, BSW, congratulations. Susan Reyes Montoya, BSW, congratulations. Eliana Gonzalez, BSW. Desiree Carlisle, BSW. Adriana Maldonado, MSW. Don't be shy. Tamara Owen, MSW. Congratulations. Amber Mejid, MSW. Congratulations. Jessica Trujillo, MSW. Congratulations. Cassandra Edwards, MSW, congratulations. Ashley Tapia, MSW, congratulations. Amber Nolasco, let me say that again. Amber Nolasco, MSW, congratulations. Melissa Ongman, MSW. Jill Plant, BSW. Kelsey Bacon, MSW. Ava Dacia Rasa, MSW. Congratulations. Ricardo Levine, MSW. Congratulations. Justina Martinez, BSW. Maribel Opang, MSW, congratulations. Michelle Sturgis, MSW, congratulations. Candice Noel, MSW, congratulations.
I'm going to embarrass you tonight.
Martha Medina, MSW, congratulations. Leilani Maldonado, MSW, congratulations. Jennifer Nelson, MSW, congratulations. Nicole Kamal Oha, BSW, congratulations. Dominique Johns, BSW. Jonathan Muniz, MSW. Christian Muniz, MSW. Nicole Michaud, MSW. Angela Shepard, MSW. Jay Dennis, MSW. Jennifer Lowey, MSW. Whitney Whitcamp, MSW. Philip Cassidy, MSW. Carrie Jacobs, MSW. Robert Mason, BSW. Darcy Day, BSW. Alejandro Bill, MSW. Maria Gabriela Yanez, MSW. Felicidades. Daniel Gonzalez, MSW. Class of 2018. please stand and turn to view the screen. This is what makes a professional degree, the MSW or BSW, really stand out, is getting inducted into the profession. Let me see. I'm going to read off. So you will repeat after me. I hereby acknowledge and accept admission into the social work profession. I pledge to practice competently and ethically. I commit myself to advance the needs of people who are vulnerable, oppressed, and living in poverty. I affirm that in all aspects of my professional practice, I will adhere to and promote the values of social work. I further pledge to treat all people with dignity and respect, and be mindful that the cultural traditions and practices of my clients are to be honored and appreciated. Welcome to the social work profession. To close, before we enjoy the reception, I'd like to invite all of you to a reception that we'll have in the lobby. Please join us, all of you, grads and your families. I do want to close with these words, which is, we really want you to stay in touch with us. One of the things we'd like to do this year is have your cohort help launch a project where we can stay in touch with our alumni. And so we'd like for you to help us do that. On the table where you first signed in when you came in, there's also a sign-up sheet there that Amy Missick's organized so that we can get your emails, your personal emails. I think you keep your NMHU emails indefinitely, but please sign up so that we can contact you and have you be involved. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you're up to and what you're doing out in the world. We are going to miss you. We want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to share in this journey to this point, and just best of luck. And I won't say goodbye yet because it's not quite that time, but please enjoy the reception afterwards. Congratulations, everyone.